What's going on, guys? Philosopher here, and I am hopping into Guilty Gear Strive. I got it on PC. I did not get it on PS4, so I am starting off late. It is Friday, and I don't know where this is going to turn out, but I want to just try to learn the game, right? So I'm going to start from the beginning. I want to do some ranked footage later on, but right now I want to focus on just learning the game and seeing how to actually play it. So we're going to hang out. We're going to play some Guilty Gear. We're going to do the tutorial. Maybe do whatever learning tools this game offers and see what we can glean. If you don't know me, I play a lot of Street Fighter. I'm a diamond ranked Street Fighter Fong. I also have a couple of the characters that I'm trying to learn as well. But yeah, I want to try to understand this game. I really like the beta. I have a character I really enjoy. So at the very least, I already know a character I want to play. Some mechanics I want to learn later on in the future with other characters that my character doesn't have those mechanics for whatever reason. And yeah, just have some fun, make some good content. Hopefully you guys learn something or have some fun or are entertained of some sort. Whatever, let's go. I haven't really listened to the soundtrack either, so I'm hoping to really dig into the soundtrack and see what everyone's talking about, because everyone has like the name of these songs all memorized already, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I watched a lot of tutorials. A lot of this should already be common knowledge for me, but I just want to make sure there's no gaps in my knowledge from people or videos that I've watched. Yada yada. We just need to record a record of me teaching you now. Come at me. Okay. All right. We gotta forward. Oh wait, wait, whoa! Where are my buttons? Hold on here. Hold on. Actually, I think I'm gonna use Roman cancel a lot more than Dust. Oh shoot. Chase him down? Okay, I'm chasing him down. I'm chasing him down. Chase on the opponent who's running away. Do I grab them? Yeah! I just gotta kill him. Okay, that's it. Reduces health bar. Alright, so the tutorial isn't anything really special right away. I just beat up on the dude. Looks like I got 3 health bars to get rid of, so there's 3 phases to the tutorial more than likely. Start attacking and try to stay on offense. Deal damage to the opponent while blocking their attacks. Do I have a DP? I have a DP, okay. R1. Oh, okay, yeah. Is that combo? That combo? Okay. I kind of like the way Soul feels. I messed with him a little bit during the beta and during Exard. I like this sword a lot more than the other one he uses in Exard, or Zerd, however you want to pronounce it. He's gonna hold nothing back. So this is an actual fight, I guess. Well, his backdash is kind of not great. I don't like the way that feels. Really short. I guess, I mean, if it gets him out of the danger. What is his, Oh, okay. Bandit to bring. Wait, what is this? Bandit revolver? Oh, that's so sick. Okay, I do like Soul. I do actually like Soul. So he might be the other character I learn if I'm learning another character. Kai is also kind of cool too. Also, I really thought about learning Milia, even though she's not my playstyle. Let's see here. Okay, so we can learn today at the dojo. So I'm guessing the dojo is where I'm going to actually start learning specific stuff. All right, so first we're going to take a look at the castle area. So it looks like it's the bare basics. I just want to go ahead and start from the very beginning. Let's look at these tips real quick. Dashing in. You'll be able to move swiftly forward by dashing. I play a character that doesn't have a normal forward dash, so all right. For you to attack the opponent, you must first get into range. Let's dash forward and close the distance between you and the opponent. So dashing is done by quickly double tapping the dash button. One thing I do want to mention is that you can use a macro. I have mine mapped to this button right here. Blip, 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 right there. I don't really need it, and I was trying to experiment with it, but I think it's still useful. If you have an issue with execution, if you're not too prideful, then go ahead and just map that dash button, because it's going to be very helpful, not just on the ground, but if you have an air dash as well, I think it'll help to reduce a little bit of mental lag that's happening, because there's a lot of stuff happening on the game. I don't think you need to be too proud to do, double dash or anything like that. It's not a hard input, but if you can reduce the amount of buttons you have to press in order to get your move to come out, that's kind of a win. It's something that I've had to come to terms with, that I'm kind of proud when it comes to inputs of buttons. I want to do like, oh, if it's all 3 buttons, I'm going to manually do it. If it's all this, I'm going to do it. I still try to practice that because I think it does allow me to have good execution, but I also think it's important to look at efficiency and rather than being just so adamant about doing it a certain kind of way, trying it out first and seeing if it makes sense. And then maybe when I feel more comfortable with the other mechanics of the game, I can go back to doing it manually, because that's just more satisfying for me. At the end of the day, it should be fun more so than anything else. I'm trying to have fun with this, but I have fun from learning and doing things and in improving in the game. I don't just have fun playing the game, but I like discovering and understanding stuff. And when I don't have that pressure of like, oh, I want to do this competitively, I have to learn all the things, and that's kind of how I feel about Tekken. That's an aside. But when you're just gonna have fun with something and explore it, it's so new to me that I'm just trying to explore it and learn it and have fun and not have pride. A lot of new fighting games that have come out, if there's shortcut commands like in Fighting EX Layer or simple inputs like in Power Rangers, I embrace that because it allows me to get to the fun part faster, which is like all the mind games and the back and forth. I want to get to that part, so if I can kind of remove the execution barrier to getting to that level of gameplay, then that's good, in my opinion. There's other fighting games that are more complicated, and those still exist, and you can go play those if you want to get the really high-level, technical, execution-heavy kind of fighting games. That's not what I'm in it for. That doesn't appeal to me, to break my fingers to do a combo if I can do it easier. So just my thoughts on it. I'd love to know your thoughts, but let's get to the tutorial. All right, so dashing in, it's pretty simple. You press forward, you dash. Not too hard. You can do it in the air or you can do it on the ground. You can back dash, you can back air dash. There's something called the instant air dash as well. I'll explain that to you. I'll play a little Dragon Ball, so it's the same kind of concept. But for right now, let's see here. We'll probably get to that in the later tutorials. Maybe I should just oh, do I just need to get to him? Is this a race? Oh, snap. Oh, okay. I see what they're trying to tell me to do now. I wasn't paying attention. I was talking too much. So I have to not mess this up. I like this. I like this little mini game thing they put in here. It's simple, but if you're a newer player, this might be useful. It's kind of like a little bit like Rocket League. Their tutorial is pretty nice. It kind of helps you understand the basics of what you can do. Alright, so let me read this just in case. For most characters, the best opportunity to land a damaging combo is in close range. Try to land a close triangle attack, which for me is /S. Attack once you've approached. I don't know if there's an option for this, so this is with the caveat of maybe there's something in the options, but I don't like that Guilty Gear Strive does not put in what button you're pressing. They put in the button to press, like the face button on your controller, but they don't tell you what it correlates to. And there's already a huge disconnect between non-fighting game players, specific fighting game players, and fighting game players coming from a different game that have different terminology. So the fact that they're not establishing the terminology within the tutorial is disheartening to me, because one of the things that frustrates me is when I'm trying to talk about fighting games with somebody and I'm trying to use terms that I think are pretty neutral that most people understand, I find a lot of times that people have their own perception of a certain word, and if you don't dig deep enough to understand how they view that word, how they think about that word, their definition of that word, then when you're learning from them or talking about the game, there's potentially a huge disconnect in comprehension when you guys are talking to each other, because you are building an idea based off of how you think they're using a word, and they're not using that word that way. Or they're leaving out information because it's assumed information, because this happens with a lot of Guilty Gear players. Like, maybe you'll notice this if you're a non-Guilty Gear player coming over to Guilty Gear, is a lot of Guilty Gear players, and they're not the only ones, just I don't play Guilty and I know a few Guilty Gear players, they've been playing the games for so long that they almost assume that you know certain things when they're using terminology or they're explaining something. One of the easiest examples is the Roman cancel and how the Roman cancel features work. You know, the PRC, the YRC, the RC. When I've had it explained to me, I've had to had Roman cancels explained multiple times over the course of my lifetime in playing fighting games, and every time I get a little bit different of an explanation with how Roman cancels work. I understand Roman cancels work differently in different games, but even still, within that specific game, it seems like they have a hard time really going in depth as to how the feature works. I know for some people they don't want to overwhelm with information, but then there's other people who just assume you know things. It's not because, you know, they're a jerk or anything. It's just they're so used to something. It's like you're asking them, oh, how do you breathe oxygen, right? It's you inhale and you exhale. It's like, okay, well, how do I make my lung muscles do that? You know, it's like, how do I explain something that's so natural to me that I feel like you should already know how to do it? That's kind of how a lot of GG players talk in my experience. And so this game is kind of a weird, divisive thing for Guilty Gear players, because a lot of them keep trying to put this game into a box. And I'm going up on a tangent here, and I want to get back to the tutorial in just a second, but I want to finish this thought before I do. I like rambling, and I don't feel like I do that enough and have that dialogue, and I try to just stay to the script. Anyway, real quick, I just want to say, when you're learning this game or when you're teaching this game, just make sure that you put in effort to make sure whoever you're talking to understands the words you're using the same way you are using those words, or you intend to use those words. You can usually tell by how they follow up from what you're saying. Like, if they're asking a question that doesn't quite make sense as to why they're asking that, make sure they have the same definitions in their head that you have in your head before moving on and like adding more to the conversation and to the explanation of what's happening, right? Or make sure when you're asking questions that the person teaching you is really doing their due diligence. Make sure you as the learner is doing their due diligence to understand what the teacher is saying. Because sometimes if you're learning from someone who's very knowledgeable in a game, whether it be Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, or whatever, make sure you're doing your due diligence to understand what they're trying to say. Because just because they're experienced at something does not qualify them to be a good teacher or coach, just by nature. But they are still a wealth of information. So if you can ask the right questions, if you can understand how they're saying things, that's going to help you out in the long run. If they're not going to get frustrated with your questions, you know, and if you're asking decent questions and you're actually making an effort to learn and apply the things that you're asking about, then I think any self-respecting fighting game player is going to take the time to teach you and explain to you and break things down. And then you also help them as the teacher. You help them, the teacher, the coach, to teach better players. And by asking better questions and making sure that you're breaking down what they're trying to say, you do them a favor, the person that's teaching or coaching, a favor by helping them be able to teach future students or friends or explain it better in the future to other people. Because now they're like, oh, I didn't think about this to explain, but now I know for next time when I talk to somebody else, or maybe when you forget because I'm piling on all this stuff, so there's no way you can remember it all. When I re-explain this to you in the future, I can explain it better. So let's get in close. Let's press triangle. That was a huge tangent from my ramble about them not putting the inputs in, but it really does frustrate me when they don't explain that I'm pressing slash. For me, triangle is slash. I don't know what it's going to be for you, so there's going to be a disconnect automatically. Like, I hear so many people say, oh, just press X. I'm not a huge fan of learning new terminology sometimes. However, when you're trying to go into a new culture, you need to learn the language. So I think it's very, very important to make a conscious effort to learn the language of the fighting game. And my frustration here, like I like this game, don't get me wrong, but I think it's important to critique things because they can always patch this, right? They can patch this in the future if enough people talk about this. So it's not like me, like just shitting on Guilty Gear and the developers. It's me saying, hey, here is an opportunity for you to fix and be able to explain to future generations better. Because when they're hopping into Guilty Gear, I think it's important to establish a language right off the bat. And they should be establishing the language that the community is already using because they kind of already have that information somewhere within the game. So it just, if you have the chance, you know, a developer happens to listen to this and you have the pull to make a change, just try to put a triangle slash whatever input it is, triangle slash S for slash or HS for heavy slash, whatever. I'm still learning the language, so I don't know the appropriate button to put, but do that, you know? Let's get back to the tutorial. Let's get to the second mission. Here we are, backdashes. Really simple stuff. I just want to run through this and explain it for other people while I'm learning. So it looks like we're going to have Kai, he's going to perform an attack after jumping, perform a backdash to avoid the attack. Okay, so this I do like because it's teaching me how to use my backdash effectively. Not just how to backdash, but when to backdash. I like this. I like this. And they also, they're making it, I'll show you in a second here, but it looks like they're giving me a visual cue as to when the attack's coming. So not just I'm randomly getting attacked and I got to respond to it. I'll talk more on this in a second. Okay, yep, so I missed that. Let's try this again. All right. Let's make sure, let me confirm. And go ahead and do it a third time. I like that they let me do it all 5 attempts, though. I like that. It's not once I get to 3. So, in Street Fighter, there's a book called Geef's Gym by Joe Monday. And I wouldn't say he's a person that necessarily coined any of these terms or lessons or exercises, but he really compiled all of it and put it into something cohesive. So I recommend it first off. It's free on Reddit, but I recommend buying the book. I'll put a link in the description down below. But yeah, in regards to why that's relevant, one of the things he does with teaching you how to whiff punish or teaching you how to do certain things, it's let's make the training as simple as possible, and then you can make it more difficult as you go. But let's really, really, really simplify this. So what this game did is they created a scenario where it's you're backdashing, I think it's heavy slash perhaps, and it's kind of helping you get an idea of how you can use backdashes, how long the startup of a move can be to be able to backdash it, but also the small hint of players sometimes have tendencies and you can react to those tendencies before the attack comes out. So obviously this is really, really basic, but the neutral jump into heavy slash is just like a classic way of practicing whiff punishes and stuff like that, because you know when they land, they're going to immediately press a button because you map that yourself usually in the room with the dummy. And by doing that, you eliminate the need to figure out when the attack is coming at first. After you learn how to deal with that situation, right? You learn how to whiff punish with what button, and you understand how to convert that whiff punish into damage. You know, maybe your hit confirms, you're practicing that as well. After you get that down, it's like, okay, well, let me go ahead and stop the neutral jump and just wiggle the stick back and forth, and then randomly throw the button out there. And then if you really, really want to get crazy, you can have 2 or 3 different recordings. And if the training mode allows you, you can randomize it. And so that way you don't know when the attack is coming, and you can really train with punishing on reaction, as well as, you know, learning what, you know, sometimes players have these tells that they're going to do something. There's certain commonalities, right? If you block long enough, they're either going to jump in or they're going to walk up and grab you, you know, dash up, grab. So you reduce the number of things that are probably going to happen based off of their tendencies. Okay, I can backdash here because they might, you know, grab me, or I can tech, or I can get ready for the anti-air, or I can whip a button while looking for the anti-air and then respond while my recovery is happening, and so kind of hide the fact that I'm about to anti-air them by whiffing a button and then immediately DPing. You see this in high-level Street Fighter all the time, especially with the Kami players. They might whiff a button like medium punch, immediately DP you if you're jumping while the animation is coming out, like right when you're landing on them. It's just something that Kami players, high-level Kami players can just do. Ken players can do it as well. Pretty much even with a DP at a high level, they do that. let's get back to the game. All right. So this is really, really simple stuff. So I'm going to start blowing through a lot of this. I don't, if I have anything to add on to it, then I will. Otherwise, I'm just going to try to get through a lot of this so we can get to the meat and potatoes. More than likely, I'm going to do a series of this because I want to try as much as possible to upload anytime I play this game. It's not my main game, it's my fun game, but I want to like help people get better at games. So I think that if I share my thought process while I'm playing the game, and kind of cut it up so that the boring bits are out of there, but share my thoughts and my document my journey, then it'll help out other people. So here is double jump. Again, my character is Nago Ryuki. He doesn't have a double jump except for when he dusts. So a lot of this doesn't apply to him, but it's still important to know this exists. So let's avoid Milia's R1, which I'm guessing is the heavy slash. Her heavy slash tandem top by performing a double jump. You've failed if you get hit or block her attack. Oh, okay, so... Alright, I'm not exactly sure. Restricted actions. Moving, forward, jump, and attack. Okay, I can't do any of that. I don't have a button to play the sample video right now, but okay. Ah! That just made a ton of sense. And okay, so I just learned a couple things here. Her heavy slash tandem, which is that little boomerang looking thing, doesn't have an active hitbox right away. It actually takes a while before it becomes active. Hold on, let me just block this. I'm gonna fail this. Whoa! Okay, I fought a few of these in the beta, and I didn't know what was happening when I was fighting this character. So I got really confused playing against her. But now that I understand that, I like this tutorial. If this doesn't make sense, if anything doesn't make sense, if I don't go over it and you have a question about it, just leave it in the comments. If I don't know, then I can post it in my community and they can answer it, and then I'll just post their response on there. I just want to help you guys out, and I also want to learn, and of course I want to have fun. Oh shoot, I messed up. Okay, so it took away my... I thought I could back jump. I'm trying to back jump, but it seems like it's not allowing me to do it. Oh shoot, okay, let me stop messing around here. Oh, they still let you try even. Yo, okay. Alright, so there's two things that I can do here. So about her specifically, I can delay my jump a little bit more. And that way, no, actually, I just jump later. I think is the best option here. I don't know what her slash version looks like if she has one. So maybe that one becomes active as soon as it's out. Need one more. It's the last one. My moment to own it. Okay. All right. That was actually not hard, but not easy. Not easy. That's very useful. Some characters cannot double jump, yep, whereas some characters can perform a triple jump, I think like Milia maybe. Keep in mind what kind of jump is available to your character. Alright, here's a high jump. This is actually useful because Nago has a high jump and I don't use it enough, especially in Blood Rage mode. I'm going to start using this in Blood Rage mode sometimes, but I think that I want to be very conservative with using it for conditioning purposes. Alright, so basically you press down up. You press down up. That's all you gotta do. Oh, okay. So I have to hit him. Down up. There we go. Eddie's an interesting, or Zato's an interesting character. The more I play this game and understand it, the more interesting Zato becomes to me. Alright, so the high jump, when you jump over an opponent with a regular jump, you will not face the opponent until you land on the ground. While jumping over an opponent with a high jump will allow you to change the direction you face mid-air, allowing you to switch positions while attacking. That is actually good to know. So, if you've ever played Dragon Ball, if you instant IAD, instant air dash, there's this mechanic where you actually will flip sides And if you do it properly, you flip sides and you'll be able to like jump over them really fast and then attack them facing that direction. I'm wondering if this game works the same way. I feel like it does, but I'll have to test that. All right, close and far. Oh. Okay, so. Oh. Oh. Okay, well, let me see how this works with Nago. And then we'll maybe go back with other characters. I'm curious to know exactly what they're going to have me do. Okay, so let's see here. Close and far slash. So I'm going to translate whenever it says this because I don't know what buttons you have mapped, and that's not helpful if I don't translate it. So the standing slash changes depending on the distance between you and the opponent. Try performing it at a distance to find out which distance the far slash changes to close. Ah, I never thought about that. Okay, there's no timer here. When at a distance from the opponent. What did I do wrong last time? Okay. I'm not sure why I failed that first time. You know what's kind of painful is he actually like twists that sword. I don't know if he twists it when it's inside of you like that or not, but it's kind of painful looking. Cool. Okay, so although the distance at which you could perform close slash is limited, it is a well-balanced move that is fast and powerful. Interesting. Okay. I still have issues with proximity normals, so this is something that's going to take me a little bit to learn, and I hope I can wrap my head around it. But, we'll see. So let's look at the unique moves. Perform a variety of moves with directional inputs plus an attack button. Okay, so back to not picking my character, it looks like. In Soul's case, he has 3 unique moves in his arsenal. Input a directional with an attack button and land the 3 unique moves on the opponent. Okay. So he has forward punch, forward slash, and forward heavy slash. So that's the forward punch. I remember that one. That's like an anti-air. I think everyone's 6S or 6P, which is forward punch. 6P is upper body invincible. So this is actually an anti-air. So let's go ahead and so that's, I know that one. I'm not sure what the usefulness of that one is, but I've seen a lot of people convert off of counter hits so far, and then is that an overhead? I'm assuming that's an overhead. Alright, so all that's saying is that you can find, if you press start, you can always find the command list, and then also they have a description of what the move actually does in the command list, which some games don't do that, surprisingly, and I'm glad that this one does. Alright, here are the Gatlings. Gatlings have been very controversial. I think they're very simplistic, but I haven't really utilized the full Gatling system just yet. My character feels very restrictive with his combos, but then I've seen other people play him, and you just have to get creative with them, and I think juggling combos are where I just stall out. Like I don't get creative with juggling combos off my own head, I guess. So I want to do that. I want to be able to just, oh, I can do this in this situation, but I'm not quite there yet. So the trick to performing a Gatling combination is to press the next button right when the current attack lands. Try not to mash the button in succession, but instead press them in rhythm. Yeah, this is like an MK combo. Like dial a combo and MK, you can confirm them, it seems like. You have enough time to really confirm these moves, but you can also just kind of dial them in. So I can do close close slash, crouching slash, then standing heavy slash. Huh? Did I do it too slow? There we go. I'm not sure what I did wrong last time. Oh, I think I did crouching heavy slash. Let's try this again. I do really think that practicing confirms should start sooner rather than later. A lot of people are intimidated by confirming, by hit confirms. And I think as a result, they get lazy on confirming because they're always like, oh, I'm not good enough yet. And that's not the right logic to have. I think hit confirms are something that starts very early on, personally. I think if you started hit confirming early on, your comprehension of how to play the game would improve faster. That's a theory, but I fully believe that that's the case because hit confirming at its simplest core isn't anything special but just training your body to react to a situation. That is it. And that you can do that all the time. But the thing is the vigilance. Your mind is vigilant for that confirm. That's what you've trained the execution, the mechanics, but you've also trained your eyes to tell your body really quickly, to tell your brain to tell your body to do this thing. That's all it is. It's very, very simple. But a lot of people, they think that they don't have good reaction time, so they don't make the attempt. So as such, they're never training their reactions to do these things, which takes time to do anyway. So if you just allocate a little bit of time to hit confirming or reacting to something, whatever that may be, usually, hopefully something common and not niche, hit confirming is always relevant in every single fighting game you will ever play, pretty much ever. So there's no reason to not start working on hit confirming day one. Like, you don't have to make that your main priority and only work on that, but as you're learning a new combo, why wouldn't you also practice confirming the combo, right? Like trying to see how long it takes before the move drops or before the move gets blocked, and really learning that timing and teaching your brain to react to when the move lands. Like it's not made sense to me since I started learning hit confirming. So this is just saying you can connect into various different Gatling combinations. The available combination varies depending on the current attack you are performing. Yeah, so it kind of limits what you can and can't do. I think the main rule of thumb is that most punches and kicks don't go into slashes. It's like all slashes or all punches and kicks will go together. I think there are exceptions with certain characters, but you can also cancel your punches, your kicks, your slashes, and your heavy slashes into specials for the most part. So there is also that. All right, so now we're getting into blocking, which I think is one of the things I really need to learn about. The defense systems in this game are, I know of them vaguely, but not necessarily how to use them properly. But we're going to start with the bare bones here. We're going to blow through this one. Typically hold back or hold down back to block stuff. Same thing, overheads are mids. Highs are, the jump-ins. Mids. Wait. So basically, you stand block to block overheads and jump-ins, and then you crouch block for basically everything else. That's pretty much the rule of thumb. You can also block in the air, which maybe that might feel unnatural to you, but it's very, very useful. There's a term called chicken blocking, which I don't know if it's still relevant, but it's something that I think will play into Guilty Gear to some level, but I don't know for sure, so I don't want to say too much on it just yet. Oh, I can't even move. This is weird. I thought my controller froze. Oh man, this is actually really like disorienting. Oh my goodness, this is like giving me anxiety. I can't move, so I don't have any like cue that I'm doing it right, except for that he just blocks it. All right, so let me try this again. That actually got me pretty good. I never realized how disoriented it is to like block but not be able to move. Like, or the animation, like I'm not proximity blocking either. I'm just not doing anything. And then when I'm holding down back, I'm not crouching. So I don't know that I'm down backing until I actually block the hit. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna shut up. So I'm just holding down back until I see him jump. I think he has an overhead, but he's not using it. Oh my god, this dude is mixing me. What? This guy is getting in my head. He's dash up sweeping. I do not approve. Okay, I was afraid of the third low. I was afraid of the third low. Yo, why is this bot giving me, like, anxiety? Like I'm pushed in the corner against a Zangief. Cool. Alright, moving on. I really think, even though I'm new to this game, I think it's important to train reactions to stuff very, very quickly. I mean, if you think you can play without, you know, learning the defense and having to react to stuff, then by all means do you. But I think that if you're wanting to learn this game and you're struggling to learn this game, you really have to take time to be able to train yourself to react to things like jump-ins. Learn how to use the 6Ps. Ever since I started using 6Ps and XR in this game, I've gotten a lot less afraid of people who just spamming jump on me. Like, it just seems like you could jump forever and just get away with a lot of nonsense. But once you learn how to, like, utilize your upper body invincible moves on reaction to their stuff, it makes a huge difference, because then they start respecting your defense a little bit more, and they can't just jump in for free. Especially against Giovannas, you gotta shut that shit down right away and not let them. You know what I'm talking about. If you played a Giovanna, then you know what I'm talking about. You shut that down, and you shut it down good. So the better you are at blocking, the less damage you're going to take. Yep. Keep in mind that there are a few ground attacks that cannot be blocked using a crouching block. Yeah, so that's like the overhead stuff that I was talking about before. Alright, for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and put the next part of this tutorial into another video. I want to go ahead and play some ranked matches, and I'll put that on a different video as well. I just want to get some game time in. So I'm liking this game so far. I like some stuff about the tutorial, and I also dislike some stuff about the tutorial. But nonetheless, I think that this is very promising. They have a lot of stuff that they explain, and it seems that they do it in a kind of fun way. I have yet to experience the menu. I just hopped right into this tutorial out of the box, so to speak. I downloaded it on Steam. I have it on PC, of course. But yeah, so far I'm liking it. I like the tutorial. I want to go through and just do what I'm doing, talking about it, discussing it, and kind of just having that conversation. That said, thank you guys so much. I hope this content is enjoyable for you. I'm really excited to do this sort of thing. I've been really struggling with like putting out content because I don't know what I want to do right now. I'm having a content crisis, kind of like a character crisis. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I am going to see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace!